I just want to clarify something. One of the reasons I changed the procedure for the retreat is because, last August, when I had a retreat for my birthday in Stony Point, within 2 weeks of the retreat, 10 people canceled, just got in touch, said we can't make it. And it almost forced me to have to cancel the retreat at Stony Point. I had to renegotiate the whole contract with them. And I don't want that anymore. If people want to come, they have to make a commitment and they come. I mean, because it was terrible. I had to call up Stony Point and, renegotiate the entire contract with them to make it possible to have, 10 people a week, 2 weeks before the retreat, got in touch and said, we're not coming, So I don't want that again. I want people to make a commitment. I don't want to have to think about that or let that kind of thing interfere with my life. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart, would you talk about how the teacher consumes the student and the student consumes the teacher?
It sounds like you're having dinner, you don't consume the teacher, you consume the Shakti, the energy that flows through the teacher. And the teacher really doesn't consume the student other than providing that Shakti, that energy. And there's a union, there's like a marriage on a very high level when this takes place. And people open and embrace, they embrace the spirit of God that exists inside. Now, a teacher can't do this with somebody who's not committed to attain their spiritual enlightenment. If they do a half meditation, if they're here, they're there, they attend class occasionally, there's little or nothing to do, that a teacher can do. But if a person is truly committed, they have the teacher 1,000%. And it's not the teacher you're consuming, it's the Shakti, it's the energy, it's that fuel that flows through the teacher that develops a chakra system inside somebody who's in the class, and enables them to have their own connection with God. That's the purpose of all this. The greatest thing that anyone can do for a teacher is learn what they have to teach and use it to build their inner self so they can connect with higher energy, with God, and have a spiritual life. It's the best thing you can do. So what you're consuming, I didn't consume Rudy. It was an impossibility. It was a meal too big for me. But I can consume as much of the Shakti that flowed through him that I was ready to take in. And incrementally, it grows. You get stronger and you can take in more Shakti. There's nothing in me that wants to consume any of you. I'm here to give away everything I've learned in my life. And I just totally pray every day for people to come here that want to take it. And again, I'll tell you, it can't be done when people show up, once every week and a half for a meditation. They have this, they have that. It doesn't work. It really doesn't work. It works when people truly make a commitment to do what is necessary to grow spiritually. Now, this is rough. We have all kinds of stuff in our life we have to deal with. But look, I told you this a million times. Years ago when I had an art gallery, I mean, I'd have some very wealthy clients and people used to buy expensive things from me. And they would call me up, well, I'd like to come by around 7 o'clock to your loft. I want to see, there's something there I'm really interested in. And I would say to them, look, at 7 o'clock to 8:15, I have a meditation class I teach. If you want to come by at 6 o'clock, it's fine. If you want to come by at 8:30, it's fine. But that hour is sacred to me. I never lost a client. Nobody ever, well, every one of them, I mean, for God's sake, they were buying Buddhist and Hindu art. They had to understand the sacred nature, at least to some degree, the sacred nature of the art. So what I'm saying is that the commitment that one makes to their spiritual life, to the teacher, to whatever teacher has to teach, be it myself or somebody else, that's how you consume the Shakti. And, no teacher worth his orange t-shirt or robe wants any of his students to worship him. That's not what this is about. And I've seen that with so many swamis and people like that, where people just worship them. And they would say the guru is God. I remember sitting at a lecture with Muktananda talking about the guru being God. And if you worship and, you will get, and Rudy sitting behind me and said, God is God. The best the guru can be is the servant of God and the servant of his students. And I mean, it was such a profound teaching for me because I had so much resistance to that whole idea of the guru being God. The guru is not God. The guru is the servant. The highest position you can attain on this planet is to be a servant of the people that study with you, that's servant of God, a channel for that energy that can help to nurture people. And Rudy's sitting right behind me, and he's always there at the right moment. That's what I wanted to consume, that level of teaching, that level of commitment to his spiritual life, that level of Shakti that used to flow through him, that level in him that truly had empathy for the struggle of the people that were around him, that did not want to be worshipped, that did not, he even told me, I've said this a billion times, he's told me, don't love me, love God. He told me this. Don't build shrines to me. When I finally leave here, don't try to bring me back by building shrines, by building this, by building that. Just learn what I have to teach. Get your connection with God. And I am asking the same thing. Consume what I have to teach. Don't try to consume me. You'll never do it. Consume what I have to teach. Consume the Shakti, the energy, what flows through. Open to the best of your ability and take it incrementally, step at a time, to continue to grow inside and build yourself.
When Rudy speaks about breaking down matter into energy, can you speak about that?
Breaking down matter into energy. Well, matter is just the very nature of physics is that everything is being broken down into energy. You know, everything is born, it lives, and it dies, including, I mean, you know, you go to Rome and you see all those ruins, and I mean, these were great civilizations once that are coming apart at the seams. And what we have in the present and throughout history is people worshiping matter. That's what people do. Money. I mean, I just saw a documentary about this guy, Bernie Madoff. I mean, he's unbelievable, you know, worship of power, of greed, of money, killed him, killed his family, it killed thousands of people. You know, there it is, that problem is that people live in the moment worshiping matter, worshiping money, worshiping things that are finite. And of course, all of those things do nothing but take them to their grave, take them to a new incarnation, to learn how to get past that. We worship the physical body. We worship the mind. We worship everything that's finite. And all of it does nothing but take us into a state of ruin, you know, really. Not a matter of breaking down matter. Matter by its very nature is breaking it down itself. It's a matter of not worshiping the material world. And the first thing that does is it overcomes fear. Because people are worshiping things that just self-destruct. And there's always that edginess in them, that fear, that what they think is security, honestly and truly does not represent security. I mean, one of the saddest things, I mean, this guy, Madoff, was living houses all over the world and, you know, fantastically wealthy. And in one of the scenes in this documentary, his wife, after everything, if you'll pardon my Bronxese, the shit hit the fan, and she's living out of her car. I mean, if that isn't a teaching from the Buddha about the finite nature of material things.
Thank you, Stuart.
Does anyone else have a question? And Kenny, I'll answer your question now about what you wrote me. You know, all the works of art that I post on my website that go along with those little, you know, short essays on Tantra, they're in, you know, they're in the Metropolitan Museum of Art, they're in the Guimet, they were in Christie's auctions. I mean, I know about this stuff because when I was in that business, I used to look for stuff like that, you know? It wasn't easy to find, but that's the kind of stuff that I would deal with quite a bit, you know? And it's kind of wonderful, very high-end spiritual art, extremely high-end spiritual art.
Spectacular.
Huh?
Spectacular.
I didn't understand what you said.
Spectacular.
Yeah, it's spectacular. Yeah, it's really, as I say, it's one of the highest ends of spiritual. Wait till you see what else is coming, but I picked
Yeah, it's a real treat.
Huh?
It's a real treat.
Yeah, I think so. That's why I chose those things. It's a treat for me because I've always loved that art, and this is the best of it, you know, this kind of stuff. If you haven't gone to my website, you can go there and get an education in Tantra. It's very interesting articles I've been writing. And I have another one coming out tomorrow. But Bob, I need to edit it a little bit, so I'll send you an edited version tonight, okay? All right, I'll send you, it'll take me 10 minutes to fix it. I'll send you a little version. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay, God bless you all. Thank you. There'll be a meditation on Sunday, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody.
Thank you, Stuart.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart. Good night.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.